The path between the levee and the village was a muddy, brown track. During the dry season, it was choked with blinding dust, and in the rainy season, it became a treacherous, slippery quagmire. At the entrance to the village stood an old, moss-covered archway with a curved roof. A horizontal plaque once bore 100 characters, but now only a few faded, blood-red strokes remained. This archway, Lung Bao, was a place of suppression, where a virgin had been buried alive centuries ago by the ancestors to preserve the village's spiritual ley lines. It was silent during the day, but at night, a faint groaning mixed with the sound of wild beasts scratching at the earth would emanate from the old shrine. Beside it stood an ancient banyan tree, wide enough to take several people to embrace, from which hung a broken wooden fish drum, split in two like a serpent's tongue, hissing whenever there was a funeral or a crime. This drum was struck by a villager and carried from one end of the commune to the other to announce impending doom. It was rumored that every time the drum sounded, someone was sure to die. Thus, the villagers of Đông Phong had a folk verse. The village drum, tattered and worn asterisk, stands guard at the gate, its back bent and torn. For mourning and crime, its mournful beat asterisk whispers of fates both bitter and sweet. Eyes dim with tears, lips muttering low asterisk. When the drum sounds at night, dark hearts also know. While many places used gongs, horns, or drums in Đông Phong, the village drum was an omen of ill fortune. Before Chief Lai took office, executions in the village courtyard were rare. But since Chief Lai assumed his position, things had only gotten worse. He was a ruthless and exceptionally cunning man, capable of using any means to oppress the villagers. The position of village chief wasn't grand, but it wasn't insignificant either, as Chief Lai had an uncle, District Chief Tam, serving in a higher position. Therefore, in Đông Phong village, Chief Lai was no different from a king in a stagnant pond. Not to mention his gang of ruthless thugs, cunning and brutal, always ready to draw blood for Chief Lai. Chief among them was Scarface Tom, who could rightly be called Lai's most loyal disciple. The harsh and unreasonable laws imposed by Chief Lai further crippled the lives of the innocent, impoverished villagers, pushing them to utter destitution. He, Scarface Tom, and other influential figures in the village concocted all sorts of ways to torment the people. For instance, the violation of village customs included offenses like leaving home earlier than the stipulated time, dumping waste on village roads, or even offering incense on the wrong day of the communal festival, which could result in flogging, fines, or imprisonment. Then there was the disrespect to Chief Lai offense. Simply arguing with him, not kneeling in greeting, or passing the village communal house without bowing was deemed rude and lawless, leading to a public flogging in the courtyard. Chief Lai himself once used a heavy ironwood cane to beat a villager relentlessly for not greeting him respectfully, driving the man to madness. There were countless other tyrannical laws, taxing newlywed virgins, forcing young men into labor, even the absurd and delusional crime of dying without permission. This meant that if a family lost a loved one and did not offer a tribute to the village deities, they would be deemed guilty, fined, and their deceased's passing treated as a crime. Another example was the crime of stealing seeds. If a buffalo belonging to a villager accidentally grazed a few rice stalks in Chief Lai's field, the owner could be accused of stealing precious seeds and fined 10 times the value of the damage. Because of this, the people of Đông Phong village utterly despised Chief Lai. However, no one dared to speak out or protest, for Chief Lai commanded a ruthless squad of powerful bullies, Scarface Tom's gang, who were always ready to inflict harm. People often said that the king's law yields to village customs, and in such a village, no one could live in peace or happiness. The communal house was the center of Chief Lai's power and his henchmen's influence, standing in the middle of the village, built of ancient bricks with thick walls and shiny black pillars, darkened by generations of incense smoke. Inside, paintings of deities hung everywhere, but none were intact. Some were torn, others scorched. The altar was always thick with smoke, yet strangely, the incense burners were always tilted to one side, even without any wind or external force. The villagers of Đông Phong were a reclusive, taciturn folk, their eyes often darting suspiciously. In their gaze, there was always a fear, as if each carried the burden of an ancient, unresolved curse. The elders would occasionally recount the tale to their grandchildren, speaking of a past blood feud that no one could cleanse, a whole family unjustly executed, and perhaps that was why the village air always carried an indescribable sense of heavy gloom. However, some geomancers believed the village's feng shui was extremely bad. Once, a geomancer named Master Vu from the Kinback region, as thin as a stick, with deep-set eyes always clutching a compass, traveled through Dong Phong village with his apprentice. As soon as he stepped over the village's first stream, he stopped, his face darkening, his eyebrows furrowing as he looked around. He felt an intense discomfort, utterly ill at ease. That entire afternoon, he walked around the village, stopping before the shrine and the communal house, places where an overwhelming negative energy seemed to surge, shaking his head and sighing deeply. That night, he sought lodging at Chief Lai's house, who was the most powerful person in the village at the time. After dinner, Master Vu sat by the hearth, looked at Chief Lai, and said, "This village's ley lines are stagnant. The land accumulates energy but doesn't release it. Negative energy overflows. The shrine and the communal house behind it are like subservient figures, but their heads are turned towards a malevolent direction, while the front stream flows askew, lacking a proper water outlet. The yin energy in the communal house's courtyard has been disturbed for generations. I fear the lingering resentment here has not dissipated. Every 3 generations, one person dies an unjust death and another goes mad. If no one reestablishes the ley lines and corrects the land's orientation, this village will never know peace." Chief Lai listened to the geomancer, stunned for a moment, then asked Master Vu, though his eyes showed little belief, "Can you do it, Master? If you can, please help my villagers. Tell me the cost directly. Although I am not rich, I can provide for you fully." However, Master Vu only sighed and shook his head. "This place is too profoundly illumined. Yin energy has accumulated for generations. I am merely a geomancer. I can only discern the good or bad of ley lines. If you want a more potent solution, you'll need a sorcerer or a true master of the occult. My abilities are limited." Hearing Master Vu's words, Chief Lai felt a flicker of disappointment. He was about to give up, but then remembered something and asked, "Master, you said you could see the ley lines. Is that true?" Master Vu looked deep into Chief Lai's eyes, as if to affirm something, then after a moment, he smiled faintly. "I am a geomancer. I specialize in ancestral graves and the energies of the land. Is there something you need help with concerning your family, Chief Lai? While I don't claim to be the best, I have never been mistaken in my observations. In this village, I sense a profound resentment. Many people have died here, haven't they?" Hearing Master Vu say this, Chief Lai flinched slightly, but he gradually regained his composure as the image of another person, Master Kha, flashed through his mind. So he adopted a disdainful tone and retorted, "Master, what exactly have you discerned in this village?" Master Vu sighed again, staring intently at Chief Lai, his face tense. "To be honest, the moment I set foot in this village, I felt something strange, something eerie." "Eerie? How so?" Chief Lai asked sternly. The geomancer continued, not directly threatening Chief Lai, but his words carried weight. "Truly, the resentment in this village is immense. The communal house, the old village temple, I see countless wandering spirits. They are merely waiting for an opportunity." Hearing this, Chief Lai burst out laughing and said, "What nonsense are you speaking, old man? I tell you, in this village, I am the one who decides everything. Not to mention, my uncle is the district chief. When they were alive, these people couldn't do a thing. What power could they have after death? They're just a bunch of aimless ghosts without refuge, and I don't even know if they're real or if it's all just your trickery." "Chief Lai, you are mistaken." The geomancer slowly shook his head, his voice even, like wind rustling through a gap in the door. "Death is merely the end of the flesh, not the end of resentment. There are spirits who, upon death, cannot find their way to rebirth. They linger, like the sound of the wooden fish drum in the dead of night, waiting for something, for someone. Their grievances have not dissipated. They are only waiting for an opportunity to act." Chief Lai frowned, his face showing disdain. "Waiting for what? From me? How I live my life is governed by village customs and laws. Don't try to scare a man of power and authority with ghost stories." Master Vu then looked directly into Chief Lai's eyes, his own eyes wide and deep, causing Chief Lai to flinch again. Not everyone with power is right, and not everyone who is silent is wrong. You may punish the living and strike the living, but you cannot extinguish the hatred of those who have died. The innocent buried alive, the children who went missing without a trace of their bones, the corpses that were dumped before they could be properly entombed. They are all watching you, Chillify. I have said what I needed to say. If you don't believe it, that is your choice. Chillify took a sharp breath. Just then, the oil lamp on the table flickered erratically, dimming as if about to go out, even though there was no wind in the house. Are you implying something, Master? Chillify's voice was strained, but he couldn't hide a slight tremor. The geomancer's words seemed to fill him with a vague unease. Master Vu pulled a piece of red cloth from his robe and spread it on the table. On it was a drawing of a bagua, with intricate lines resembling those in the I Ching. A few lines of ancient, winding script, faded with age, were written in Chinese ink. He emphasized, "This is a diagram of suppression, used to identify places where yin energy accumulates and malevolent forces thrive. I hadn't intended to bring it out, but your confidence, Chief, compels me." The communal house, years ago, was not built by chance. It lies directly over a yin burial ground, a place your ancestors tried to conceal when they founded the village. But this spot was not meant to protect the village. It was meant to imprison grievances. Do you understand, Chief? Chillify now began to tremble slightly, his gaze flitting from the geomancer's face to the red cloth. He mumbled, "Imprison grievances? What does that mean?" Master Vu traced a circle on the cloth with his finger. This communal house is where the vengeful spirits from the Great Plague of the Mao Thin Year were imprisoned. People were forced to die, buried in a common pit. No one erected tombs, no one offered prayers. Chillify, you might think they've turned to dust, but their souls did not follow the cycle of reincarnation. They followed the sound of the wooden fish drum. Do you understand what I mean? And I see that wooden fish drum hanging at the shrine is burdened with heavy energy, Chief. Resentment has accumulated, leading to endless calamities. If you don't stop your ways, I fear the next time that drum sounds, it will be calling for you. Hearing Master Vu's words, Chillify was furious. Never before had anyone in Đông Phong village dared to speak such words to him. It was like striking his inverse scale. Chillify abruptly swept the diagram off the table, his voice rising in anger. "You geomancers and sorcerers, you only know how to use your silver tongues to scare people. I don't believe in it. I have power, influence, and even my uncle, the district chief, backing me. Do you think a few wandering ghosts can overturn me? No one has ever been able to do that to me. Not to mention, I have several friends who are also sorcerers. They are very powerful, you better watch yourself. What are you doing here? Who sent you?" He stepped closer to the geomancer, pointing a finger at his face. "Let me tell you, in this village, I am the law. I decide who lives and who dies, right then and there. Even you, if you continue to scare me here, I can throw you out of the village. Don't think you can frighten me with talk of ley lines and yin energy. Do you like being clever, old man?" Master Vu did not reply. He merely bowed his head slightly and said, "The power of life and death is in your hands, Chief. The downtrodden villagers dare not object. But you should remember, Chief, even the motherland has its limits. No one can hold on to power forever. With so much resentment, the land is filled with negative energy. And I sense that you, Chief, are preparing to commit another unrighteous act, are you not? This afternoon, at the communal house, I saw many wandering spirits. A very strong aura of negative and killing energy, Chief." Chillify's face changed color, but he quickly regained his composure. His teeth clenched, revealing prominent blue veins across his face, making him look more ferocious than ever. He gritted his teeth and growled, "So what should I do now?" "Resentment should be resolved, not suppressed," Master Vu said calmly. "A wound, if not cleaned, will eventually fester. It will spread and poison the entire body." Chillify spun around, his voice low and commanding. "Resolve? You say that so easily, Master, then tell me, how do I resolve it? By praying to dried bones." Master Vu's voice sank, not with coldness but with a deep sadness. "It's not that. From generations past, your family, Chief, has committed many evil deeds, and so have you. Have you ever considered that the living and the dead in this village all harbor resentment? If you continue like this, sooner or later, you will face retribution." These words made Chillify furious. Indeed, he had always been the one to control the villagers, never fearing anyone. If anyone dared to incur his displeasure, he would have them thrown into jail for a few days and whipped dozens of times until they were as docile as dogs. But this was the first time a stranger, claiming to be a geomancer, had come from nowhere and uttered words that infuriated him so deeply. The air in the room suddenly grew quiet, save for the faint sound of wind gently rustling through the wooden window, making the oil lamp flicker as if it were about to die. "Are you trying to stop me, Master?" Chief Lai's gaze hardened, his words now carrying a clear threat, which made the geomancer flinch slightly and raise a hand. "HMPH, I merely speak my observations. Whether Chief Lai listens or not is your business. I bid you farewell, Chief. I shall take my leave. I was just speaking idly. If I said anything inappropriate, please forgive me, Chief Lai. Consider me foolish." With that, he quietly turned and walked towards the main door, under Chief Lai's enraged gaze. Chief Lai watched his departing figure, his eyes bloodshot, then turned back into the room and growled, "Scarface Tom, get in here." The inner door was flung open. Scarface Tom entered, his face bearing several long scars running from his forehead to his cheek, looking like centipedes crawling across it. Especially in the dim light, after a few drinks his face was flushed, making him look unusually ferocious. Seeing Chief Lai's enraged expression, Scarface Tom was utterly surprised. Earlier, he had seen a strange guest whom Chief Lai had treated with great hospitality, but now Lai's attitude had completely changed. Besides, he had lived with Chief Lai for many years and had never seen him act so strangely, so he hesitantly asked, "Yes, Chief, what can I do for you?" "Follow that geomancer for me. I don't care, I smell something wrong in his words. If I don't roar, he'll think I'm a harmless cat. Find out who he is, where he came from, and what he's doing here." "Yes, Chief, I'll follow him. If necessary, I can have some men take care of him tonight. Do you have any objections?" Scarface Tom probed Chief Lai's expression. Seeing Lai's face still calm, his eyes fixed on the road outside, Tom licked his lips obsequiously and said in a smooth, fawning voice, "I thought he was an honored guest today, Chief. If not, I could have handled him already. It's been a while since I had a good fight. Would you allow me to finish him off now?" Chief Lai shook his head. "Not necessary yet. Calm down and just observe him for now. I want to know where he goes. Besides, this fellow seems quite skilled. To immediately describe everything in the village like that is not simple." Chief Lai sat down, took a sip of tea, then looked directly at his disciple and continued, "And listen carefully. In a few days, Master Kha from Fuzian from across the river will be coming to set up an altar. Make sure you welcome him carefully. Absolutely do not let Master Kha be mistaken about you. I only trust Master Kha. It's true what people say, many masters, many ghosts. Apart from Master Kha, all other masters are useless. Did you get that?" Scarface Tom was about to leave but stopped suddenly, then Chief Lai added a further instruction, "And pay attention to one more thing for me, the offering for the 5 ghosts. I believe in it implicitly. At last, someone has to die to get this over with. And don't let anyone touch that girl. If anything happens to her, none of you will live." Chief Lai's eyes flashed with a malicious glint as he looked at his henchman, making Scarface Tom flinch and stammer, "Yes, yes, Chief." The scars on his face now flushed red, making him look extremely grotesque. He gnashed his teeth and grumbled, then, taking a puff from his pipe, mumbled, "Rest assured, Chief Lai. I've had men guarding and taking care of her very carefully. If anything happens, I'll offer my head. Good, you are the one I trust most. Don't worry, I won't mistreat you." With that, Chief Lai poured himself a cup of wine, emptied it in one gulp, and let out a joyous laugh, clearly delighted. Scarface Tom remained still for a moment, then muttered to himself, "A geomancer, eh? Let's see if you can escape. You've entered Đông Phong village now. As for resentment, well, you're on your own." Then Scarface Tom slowly walked out. Now Chief Lai was alone. He stood up and paced around the house as if contemplating something. He muttered in a low voice, "I don't believe in ley lines or ghosts or anything, but these villagers believe. And if they're easy to believe, they're easy to manipulate. And if that's the case, they'll spread all sorts of rumors. I need to teach them a lesson, show them they haven't seen the coffin yet. Here, I am the law, and my law has no exceptions. Let's see if anyone dares to defy me this time." Saying this, Chief Lai entered the bedroom of his newly married 3rd wife. This woman was another whom Chief Lai had, naturally, taken by force, much to the anger and resentment of his first 2 wives. His first wife, Madame Thao, had been arranged by Chief Lai's parents when both were barely teenagers, but for some unknown reason, she bore no children. A few years later, Chief Lai took a second wife, Madame Tom. The couple had 3 children, but all 3 died prematurely. Rumors spread in the village that it was punishment for Chief Lai's cruel deeds that his lineage would end. These rumors infuriated Chief Lai, driving him to create even more draconian laws solely to silence the villagers. Now he had taken a third wife, Ms. Huang. To be honest, it was more an act of usurpation through his power. In Đông Phong, he was nothing short of a petty king. He still desperately wanted a son to carry on his family name. For a man over 50, with no shortage of money or land, but no heir, it was a bitter reality. Therefore, he sought every possible means to have a child. Finally, Chief Lai met Master Kha from across the river. Given the repeated deaths of his children, Chief Lai harbored some doubts about his own fate. His wife had advised him to consult Master Kha, whose reputation was that he could comprehend the heavens above and the earth below, a truly skilled individual. Upon seeing Chief Lai, Master Kha observed him intently for a long moment, then spoke in a chillingly detached voice. "Chief Lai, I see many vengeful spirits surrounding you." "Vengeful spirits? What kind?" Chief Lai frowned, a sudden chill in his heart. "They are female spirits, many of them. They follow behind you, Chief. Their faces are all stained with blood and hatred. Some don't even have faces, only hair and nails. They have been living like this for years, do you understand, Chief?" Chief Lai did not answer, merely resting his chin on his palm. His eyes stared blankly at the marks on the cane lying beside him, as if waiting for Master Kha to continue. After a moment, Master Kha spoke again. "With such a blighted lineage, you will have no descendants. Chief Lai, I see your yin and yang energies are imbalanced, your vital essence is drained. It is only natural that you have no heir." Chief Lai picked up his pipe, took a deep drag, closing his eyes as he exhaled smoke through his nose, then asked, "So, Master, what do you say I should do now?" Master Kha did not answer immediately. He stood up and walked around Chief Lai's house, as if assessing it. If anyone else had looked at him like that, they would surely have been beaten. Such an act was considered disrespectful, a challenge to his authority. But strangely, facing Master Kha, Chief Lai showed no fear, merely continued to stare intently. This made Chief Lai feel that Master Kha might indeed be highly skilled. After a while, Master Kha asked for Chief Lai's birth chart and the dates and times of death of his children. He wrote them down, made some calculations, then lowered his voice, almost whispering to Chief Lai, "You must establish an altar to resolve this." "An altar for what?" Chief Lai's eyes fixed on Master Kha. "An altar to reverse fate, to invert yin and yang, to seize blessings. Only through this method can your family line be saved, Chief Lai. However, this matter will greatly harm your spiritual merit." "What do you mean, Master? Speak plainly, don't beat around the bush. If it costs money, I can provide it." Chief Lai pressed, but Master Kha only sighed again and whispered, "There must be a sacrifice, a life offered." At this, Chief Lai sat still as a statue, his face alternating between red and white. His already small eyes narrowed even further, becoming thin slits like 2 threads placed on his face. After a long moment of stunned silence, he asked Master Kha, "Who is this sacrificial person? Tell me clearly." Master Kha did not answer directly. He simply pulled a piece of paper, folded into 4 from his sleeve and placed it on the table. Then he picked up a brush and quickly wrote a few characters. After a few strokes, the information gradually became clear. It contained a few lines of black script, and below it was a drawing of a human figure surrounded by a circle, symbolizing a blighted fate. Chief Lai stared, uncomprehending. He was about to speak when Master Kha said, "I have calculated it. The sacrificial person must be a virgin girl between 14 and 17 years old. You can choose someone born in the year of the tiger, horse, or dog, but the year of the tiger is best, as its yang energy is the strongest, capable of fully gathering wood energy. She must have a pure yang birth time, pure yang blood, untouched by defilement. Only by guiding her soul to the netherworld, allowing her pure spirit to drain, can Chief Lai's fertile energy be unblocked." It seemed Chief Lai still didn't fully grasp his meaning. Master Kha then wrote down the specific birth date and time of this person on a piece of paper, telling Chief Lai that he must find this person to set up the altar. Chief Lai took the paper, his hands trembling. Will setting up this altar truly guarantee a child? Master Kha's face became stern, looking at Chief Lai, whose initial joy quickly turned into apprehension. Not only will you have a child, but it will be a Qitu, a noble son. But after the ritual, you must not tell anyone. This ritual is a seizure of fate, a snatching of life. If revealed, the consequences will be dire. Chief Lai nodded, overjoyed to the point of madness, and said, "Then I will do exactly as you say, Master. I will surely find the person you require." After that, Chief Lai placed a box filled with gold and silver on the table for Master Kha. The ritual to suppress fate and seize destiny would take place at Chief Lai's house in a few days. In a dilapidated storage shed at Chief Lai's estate, 4 or 5 of his henchmen, grim-faced and drinking wine, were chatting amongst themselves. "What's wrong with Ms. Van, the daughter of old Tuko, that Chief Lai has locked her up like a treasure?" one asked. Another whispered, "Keep your voice down or Chief Lai will kill you. She's a treasure, all right, not just a beautiful girl, you're exaggerating." Another chimed in, "Who in this village dares to question Chief Lai? If he says she's a treasure, then she's a treasure. We just follow orders." Scarface Tom also warned us that if anything happens to her, none of us 4 will escape punishment. One of them stood up and peeked into the room. Inside, a girl of exquisite beauty was tied hand and foot. He looked regretful and sighed. "What a pity. This girl is too pretty, but so unlucky. I dare not ask Chief Lai directly, but I heard rumors that this girl is about to be used as a sacrifice for the communal house ritual. Seeing her delicate, tender skin, I really don't have the heart for it." "Shut your mouth," another snapped. "Chief Lai will bury you alive. Whether you have the heart or not, it's not up to you. This is Chief Lai's command. We just follow orders. I think her parents were exiled by Chief Lai for violating village rules. And this girl was brought here for the main purpose of, well, what Scarface Tom said, for the shrine ritual." "Just drink, you fool," another cursed. "I swear, fighting or doing other jobs is less unpleasant than this. The girl cries all the time. How do you think I feel? What a pity." With that, the 4 men fell silent, all sighing heavily. Perhaps a shred of human conscience still remained within them. Although they had committed many wicked and immoral acts following Chief Lai over the years, today, for some reason, they felt pity for the poor Ms. Van, whom Chief Lai had chosen as a sacrificial offering. Master Kha, a sorcerer from Fuzian across the river, was often called upon by Chief Lai to perform vile and dirty rituals. He could be considered a dark sorcerer, employing harmful spells and charms for his own gain. Chief Lai was often advised by his uncle, District Chief Tam, "These villagers are still ignorant. You must use a firm hand to deal with them. If anyone is stubborn, lock them up and starve them for a few days. No one can endure that. If they remain defiant, bring them to the communal house, publicly accuse them of violating village customs, and convict them. 1 arrow, 2 birds. Like that, they'll be as docile as dogs. Just follow my advice. It's easy to control them. Like the story of the bundle of bamboo sticks, you can't break the whole bundle, but one by one, it's easy. Just pick them off individually, and no one will dare to resist." Chief Lai was not a kind man himself. Since his uncle became district chief, Lai had become like a tiger with wings, utterly dominating Đông Phong village. The villagers, being gentle and submissive, had no one to turn to for help, like ants clinging to a dead branch. However, recently, Chief Lai had heard many strange and baseless ghost rumors in the village. This was why he had sought Master Kha from across the river, ostensibly to perform a suppression ritual, but his true purpose was different. Master Kha was a man over 60 with a gaunt face but a plump, flabby belly. People often said that strange individuals had strange appearances, and Master Kha was certainly one. When he smiled, his tiny eyes narrowed to mere slits, accompanied by a shriveled nose and thin lips. One look told you he was not a benevolent man. Perhaps it was due to his practice of a dark sorcery called ghost manipulation, which could have affected his temperament. Today, Master Kha met Chief Lai as arranged. He wore a purple ceremonial robe with a 5-fingered hand embroidered on the chest, each finger bearing a tiny demon. On his head, he wore a dragonfly-winged hat, an appearance quite unlike other ordinary sorcerers. Chief Lai welcomed Master Kha warmly. After a sumptuous meal and plenty of wine, Lai asked, Master, how fares the matter I entrusted to you? Master Kha, portraying himself as an enlightened master, merely opened his eyes slightly and said softly to Chillify, I have promised Chillify, and whatever I can conceive, I dare to execute. Have you found the person I asked you to find? Yes, rest assured, Master, I have found her. A virgin, only 14 years old, and her birth chart matches your requirements exactly. Excellent. If that is so, then this matter is guaranteed to succeed. You will not only have a descendant in your lifetime, Chief, but your family line will prosper for many generations. As if remembering something, Chillify called Scarface Tom. Tom, what about that geomancer you were investigating the other day? Who is he and where did he come from? Chief, I followed him until he reached the edge of our village, then he disappeared. How can that be? Tell me clearly. Chief, that old man is strange. I don't know if he knew I was following him, but he moved so fast, darting in and out of the Đông Phong village perimeter, then he vanished. I searched everywhere but found no trace of him. I was going to report back to you, Chief, but I haven't had a chance, Scarface Tom stammered, head bowed. This story caught Master Kha's attention. He turned to Chillify and asked, What kind of master was that, Chillify? Did you not trust me and invite another master here? No, it's not like that, Master. Don't misunderstand, it's just… Chillify recounted the entire story to Master Kha. Master Kha smirked, a derisive curl of his lip. A geomancer? What kind of geomancer makes such pronouncements? People say that if the earth could speak, the geomancer would have no teeth left. After this ritual, I will investigate what kind of divine being he is. Does he know the power of the 5 ghosts? He probably just read a few feng shui books and knows a few petty tricks, thinking he can make a living. HMPH? Master Kha's words dripped with contempt for the other master. Hearing Master Kha's pronouncements, Chillify let out a silent sigh of relief. Ever since he had heard Master Vu's words, he had felt a certain unease. But now that Master Kha had dismissed it, he felt reassured. Master Kha himself was indeed skilled. Chillify had personally witnessed him perform rituals many times. Even District Chief Tam, Lai's uncle, greatly admired and praised him. The fact that he had maintained his power for so many years was no coincidence. Chillify clapped his hands and said, Excellent! If you say so, Master, I have complete faith in you. Rest assured, I will follow your instructions entirely. Thank you, Chillify, for your trust. I promise to do this well. Now, Chillify, have your men prepare these items for me immediately. Everything must be prepared thoroughly, no more, no less. During the ritual, do not let anyone approach. This is a forbidden art, the highest form of the 5 ghost system of magic. Ordinary people cannot know this spell. If it were not for Chillify personally asking me, and District Chief Tam being my benefactor in the past, I would not help you. Performing this work honestly greatly diminishes my own spiritual merit. With that, Master Kha told Chillify, Now, Chillify, lead me to meet the sacrificial offering. Chillify then instructed Scarface Tom to lead the sorcerer to the storage shed, then ordered his servants to buy the items Master Kha had requested. Afterward, he went to meet his 3rd wife. A look of unspeakable joy was on his face. According to Master Kha, this matter was sure to succeed. Entering the room, he found his 3 wives conversing in low tones. Chillify announced, Master Kha has instructed me to absolutely refrain from bedroom matters for 49 days. Therefore, for now, you 3 should not seek me out. After this period, you may. But why? All 3 wives looked at him with surprised eyes. No need to ask, this is an order. The master has said so, so it must be done. Madame Thao and Madame Tom, his first 2 wives, exchanged glances, a fleeting look of jealousy in their eyes as they glanced at Ms. Huang's visibly pregnant belly. Madame Tom then burst into tears. Both Sister Thao and I have dedicated our hearts to you, sir, and this is how you treat us. What is this new replacing the old? Are you casting us aside, Sister Thao and me, because we're old and withered, no longer appealing? Since the day we brought the beetle leaves to ask for Ms. Huang's hand for you, you haven't even looked at us once. It's not that I didn't give you opportunities, but both of you have disappointed me, Chillify sighed, looking at his first 2 wives. This family line, I am the only male heir. I cannot let my lineage die out at the end of my life. He then added, Who is as miserable as I am? I fathered 3 children, but all 3 died prematurely. If it weren't for heaven's will, how would others even set foot in this house? Madame Tom's eyes blazed with extreme jealousy as she spoke, but it's because of Ms. Huang? However, Madame Thao patted her sister's arm. Sister, we were unlucky and couldn't bear children for him, but we only hope he will have some affection for us. After everything is settled, he can pay a little attention to us. We also want to be mothers and wives. Chief Lai looked at his two wives at a loss for words. He nodded and said, Rest assured, if Master Kha's words are true, once the ritual is complete, everything will be as we wish. I want many children to carry on the family name. We lack nothing in wealth after all. But don't you feel sad when every child you bear dies? He then sternly admonished Madame Thao and Madame Tom, You too must support your husband. And Ms. Huang is also my wife. She is currently pregnant. Both of you must take good care of her. After this matter, I promise to be fairer. With that, he left the room, leaving the three women looking at each other. Madame Thao and Madame Tom were half-sisters, not far apart in age. When Madame Thao realized she was infertile, she was the one who introduced her husband to her younger sister. This was partly to keep wealth within the family, but all three children she bore died prematurely, causing Chief Lai immense disappointment. Ms. Huang, on the other hand, was chosen by Chief Lai himself. Therefore, the other two couldn't help but harbor resentment and jealousy. Earlier, they had been confronting Ms. Huang, but luckily Chief Lai had intervened in time. Now that he was gone, Madame Tom turned to her sister, and with a sudden change in attitude, faced Ms. Huang and said, Let me tell you, in this house, Madame Thao is my elder sister, and I am the second wife. Don't think that just because you're carrying his child, you can flaunt anything you want. Remember, it's not over until it's over. This man has had 3 children die already. You're only pregnant now. Nothing is certain yet. Ms. Huang was a gentle and submissive woman. Madame Tom's words clearly contained a veiled threat. Hearing the two sisters, Ms. Huang panicked and pleaded, Please, sisters, I am young and inexperienced. Please accept my child and me into this home. I don't want to compete for anything. It's fine, sisters. You haven't been too harsh on me and he likes me. I will comply. But next time, after 49 days, you must absolutely yield him to us sisters. Yes, I wouldn't dare to usurp anything. But sisters, you understand Mr. Lai. He has high demands, he's insatiable. Enough already. We know his temperament all too well. Just rest, relax. If you need anything, just tell me, I'll help you. When Madame Tom said this, Ms. Huang immediately knelt in gratitude. Madame Tom then acted extremely kind, helping Ms. Huang up, but her eyes, as she looked at her sister, gleamed with a sinister cunning. Dear sister, the form of address changed abruptly. Well, we are all women, and I've been through this too. You should go rest. If you need anything, we sisters will help. We are all one family, after all. Hearing this, Ms. Huang cried and laughed, repeatedly expressing her thanks. When Chief Lai forced her to be his wife, Ms. Huang had always felt pressured. Now, it seemed as if all that pressure had been released. This made her extremely happy. Thank you so much, sister. I don't know what to say. Madame Tom stood behind Ms. Huang. After seeing the pregnant Ms. Huang waddle off to another room, Madame Thao then spoke. Hey, are you really going to be kind to her? You seem so different. Do you think it's that simple, sister? Do you think it's easy to set foot in this house? Can't we two sisters deal with a mere young girl, barely even a woman yet? Does she even have her first period yet? What are you saying, sister? You and I have no children. Do you think if Huang gives birth to a son, the entire inheritance and lineage of the Din family will belong to him? You and I will be sidelined, even lose all our say. Hearing this, Madame Thao flinched. These words were not without reason, especially concerning a lecherous man like Chief Lai. Not to mention, Ms. Huang was much younger and very pregnant. She looked vibrant and fresh in the prime of her youth. While the two sisters were almost 40, old and plain, how could they compete in beauty with a girl barely 20? So, what do you intend to do, sister? What we don't have, no one else should have either. Have you forgotten, sister? The day she first stepped into this house, how arrogant she was. Saying this, Madame Tom's eyes fixed on the opposite room where Ms. Huang was, and she hissed in a venomous whisper, You must follow my plan, sister. We don't have children, I won't let her have one either. If she truly gives birth to a precious son, and the entire Din family dotes on him, will we be cast aside? No way, what should we do? You know the master who brews herbal medicine, right? If it's a pregnancy tonic, tell him to add some ingredients to induce miscarriage. I don't believe the baby can come out normally. Besides, this way, no one can suspect anything. After all, I myself have had 3 children die prematurely. You understand what I mean, right, sister?" Hearing this, Madame Thou seemed to awaken, a sinister smile spreading across her face as she nodded. "Excellent, let's proceed with this plan." Master Kha approached and looked into the storage shed. Inside was a girl, barely 14 years old, exquisitely beautiful. He observed her intently, then slowly walked away. After confirming Ms. Van's birth date again, he went outside and handed Scarface Tom a packet of medicine. "You remember to do exactly as I say. Before she eats anything, give this bag to the sacrificial offering to cleanse all impure energy from her body. Absolutely do not give her any food. If she's hungry, let her chew on some betel nut for strength. Each day, boil water and bring it to her for a thorough bath. In 3 days, at the 3rd watch, yin energy will be at its peak, and we will perform the ritual." Scarface Tom took the packet of herbs and nodded. The scars on his face, alternating white and red, made him look extremely fierce. He glanced at his henchmen, who were nearby, and gave them orders. In a few short moments, it was the 30th day of the lunar month. That night, outside the shrine of Đông Phong village, a strange wind blew in from the river, carrying chilling cold and dark, swirling mists. The wind howled through Đông Phong, making the bamboo groves planted around the village creak eerily. No one knew if it was a coincidence, but all the dogs in the village howled mournfully, as if predicting an impending death. The village wooden fish drum, hanging at the shrine, inexplicably began to emit strange, frantic sounds throughout the night, as if signaling that an utterly terrifying event was about to unfold. A group of about a dozen people silently made their way from Chief Lai's house to the shrine. The group was quiet. No one spoke a word. Only the sound of their hurried, anxious breaths could be heard, as if everyone was feeling rushed and uneasy. They carried a palanquin, on which lay a young girl, her entire body tightly bound with ropes, her mouth gagged. As they reached the shrine, the group looked around furtively, an unspoken, invisible fear gripping them all. And truly, it was strange. From the moment they carried Ms. Van out, a large, plump black cat appearing from nowhere followed them, growling, startling the entire group. One henchman even senselessly threw a brick to chase it away, but the cat dodged it with uncanny agility, showing no fear. Instead, it stood there, its green eyes glowing, its white fangs bared, watching them intently. It continued to growl faintly, but by the time they reached the shrine, the cat was nowhere to be seen. This made the group exchange bewildered glances. However, Master Kha had given strict instructions. Tonight, no matter what strange phenomena they witnessed, they were not to panic or flee. Inside the shrine, Chief Lai was now sitting in the innermost part. He watched Master Kha. Lai's face was flushed, whether from wine or excitement, perhaps because he was about to embark on an act that no one in the Din family had ever dared to do. His face was red, but his eyes were unusually clear and alert. The light from the shrine lamp cast a shimmering glow, revealing a malevolent glint in his eyes. Before Master Kha lay a ceremonial tray with several talismans, a piece of red cloth, a vial of chicken blood, and several grotesque statues of strange figures. According to the old man, these were the 5 ghost gods, capable of subduing deities and creating powers unimaginable to ordinary mortals. Master Kha, now clad in a purple ritual robe embroidered with ghost heads similar to the statues, held a string of bone prayer beads in his hand. His face was grave and tense. "It's here," he said. "The yin energy has accumulated. If not suppressed quickly, something will happen." Chief Lai nodded, saying nothing, only gesturing to Scarface Tom. "Yes, Chief." Scarface Tom, carrying a red lantern, led the way to the palanquin. Ms. Van, due to prolonged starvation, was already thin, now even more emaciated. She was curled up, shivering from the cold, her hands tied behind her back, her eyes swollen and puffy from days of relentless crying since her capture. 2 henchmen carried her out of the palanquin, wrapped in a red cloth like a chicken for sacrifice, and placed her in the middle of the shrine courtyard. The 2 men then tied her to the sharp stake embedded in the center of the shrine. The girl, perhaps too weak and terrified, could no longer struggle. Her eyes were wide open, staring intently at the men, filled with extreme fear. Now Master Kha began the ritual. In the very center of the courtyard was a nameless, unglazed terracotta bowl, with 5 ghost heads carved on its rim, in which 5 black candles were lit. No one knew what they were made of, but the more they burned, the thicker and blacker the smoke, emitting a pungent, acrid odor like burning hair mixed with dried blood. Master Kha held a ghost-whipping staff and began chanting strange incantations. The sounds tore through the air, piercing and chilling. His left hand continuously formed mudras, seemingly with great practiced skill and professionalism. But at that moment, the wooden fish drum hanging above the shrine emitted several sorrowful, distinct beats, as if someone had struck it, yet no one had touched it. This startled Chillify, Scarface Tom, and the henchmen, making them freeze. They looked up at the drum, hanging several meters high, but there was absolutely no one there. And for the drum to sound on its own was indeed strange. Scarface Tom looked around, his eyes wide, and muttered, "Who hit the drum just now, do you know?" But before he could finish his sentence, Chillify growled, "Shut up, concentrate, let the master work." Master Kha did not stop. He continued to brandish his staff, but sweat began to trickle down his forehead, soaking his robe. He didn't speak, but one could sense that the previous sound of the drum had broken his concentration. It felt as if Master Kha's eyes were now bloodshot, his lips continuously muttering, and his left hand forming mudras faster and faster, sending strange incantations towards the incense burner. At the climax of the ritual, suddenly, another 3 beats of the wooden fish drum rang out. Master Kha tried to suppress something, but he was utterly helpless, for the ritual was at its most critical, most intense point. He forced himself to look up at the shrine and saw a large black cat, its green eyes glowing, staring at him. No one but Master Kha could see this. What did it mean? His mind became disoriented as he stared into the cat's eyes. But the black cat seemed to be controlled by someone else. Whenever Master Kha was most immersed, striking the crucial part of the incantation, the cat would raise its paw and tap the drum 3 times, making it impossible for Master Kha to concentrate. He was trembling. But once the 5 ghost spell was activated, it could not be stopped. If he faltered, he would surely suffer a backlash, and the consequences would undoubtedly be severe. Master Kha squeezed his eyes shut, continuing to swing his staff downwards with furious, snapping motions, his fingers forming mudras faster and faster. He tried to chant the incantation loudly, to drown out the sound of the ghost drum that seemed to be striking directly into his head. But the more he did so, the more the drum beats echoed with a distinct rhythm, causing Master Kha to lose concentration completely. It felt as if the blood in his body was about to surge out. Those outside, like Chillify, Scarface Tom, and the henchmen, were completely unaware of the mysterious phenomenon. After all, they were mere mortals, unable to perceive such supernatural occurrences as Master Kha could, until the entire group witnessed a terrifying phenomenon. The wooden stake that had bound Ms. Van, deeply embedded in the ground, slowly began to push itself upwards. Ms. Van, too, suddenly sensed something abnormal and stared wide-eyed towards the shrine. In her eyes, the image of a tall, gaunt man with deep-set eyes holding a compass, beside him a young man of 15 or 16, appeared. It was Master Vu and his apprentice. Both figures were enveloped in a strange aura, hovering amidst the branches of the ancient banyan tree, intently observing all of Master Kha's actions below. And it was the black cat that Master Vu was using to disrupt Master Kha, preventing him from completing his scheme. High in the banyan tree, Master Vu continuously performed his magic. His entire body seemed to be straining, his breath coming in ragged gasps, his face pale as he watched Master Kha intently, muttering incantations. The black cat on the roof of the shrine suddenly let out a series of agonizing meows, as if its neck were being strangled, then with all its might, struck the wooden fish drum again, 3 times. This time, the sound exploded in Master Kha's brain. His entire body froze like a wooden statue. The staff he held shattered and fell. Blood gushed from his nostrils. His small, narrow eyes rolled back, revealing blood-red veins. All the incantations he was uttering, poised to be released, now faltered. The ritual, suspended in the shrine courtyard, could no longer be sustained. He coughed up another mouthful of blood, spitting it directly onto the incense burner, extinguishing it. Who is it? His eyes, wide with disbelief, stared fixedly at the incense sticks. Just a moment more, and everything would have been complete. But now it was all ruined. A backlash, why, who ruined me? Master Kha shrieked, but it was too late. His body swayed, then he fell to the ground, writhing and convulsing as if in an epileptic fit. As he lay there looking up, he saw two figures standing on the ancient banyan tree, looking down at him intently. He was terrified, about to scream, when at that moment the black cat also pounced, attacking Master Kha, who was now screaming in utter agony. Just then lightning struck, tearing through the sky as chicken blood in the shrine courtyard billowed smoke, then exploded, splattering in 4 directions, hitting Scarface Tom's face, who was standing nearby, sending him sprawling to the ground. His hands flailed, as if warding off an invisible foe that was clinging to his neck. Chillify roared, unable to believe his eyes. What kind of circus act is this? What kind of ritual is this? What is happening? But Master Kha could no longer move. Scarface Tom thrashed about, trying to scream, but no sound came out. His henchmen, seeing this, were terrified and fled, losing their shoes, gasping as if their souls had been ripped from their bodies. In a flash, everything became utterly chaotic. The wooden stake that bound Ms. Van, initially buried deep, slowly began to push itself up abnormally. The ground beneath cracked open as if something was emerging from the earth, visible even to the naked eye. Ms. Van began to writhe, her wide-open eyes no longer those of an ordinary human, but filled with an intense, ultimate hatred, as if possessed, staring at the shrine. The shrine itself began to violently shake, then suddenly split open. The wooden fish drum vibrated furiously as if struck by a divine blade plunged into the earth. Blood began to seep out from within, emitting a thick, putrid odor. From the cracked earth, a deep, black pit was revealed. The shrine itself collapsed into the abyss. Chillify witnessed the horrifying spectacle as blood gushed out. His body convulsed for a moment, then he collapsed, his face still wide-eyed, as if unable to believe he had suffered a backlash in the middle of his ritual. He tried to say something, but blood continuously gushed from his mouth, emitting a truly tragic sound. Then, unexpectedly, many invisible black hands from the pit dragged him straight down. The incense burner, adorned with the 5 demon figures, also exploded, spewing out countless fragments that flew directly into Chillify's eyes as he screamed. That entire night, strong winds howled, lightning flashed, striking the 4 corners of Đông Phong village. No one could sleep. Each successive bolt of lightning struck, felling trees and flattening everything in a terrifying display. That day was a day of cleansing. Chillify's house was struck by lightning, but fortunately there was no structural damage. In the left corner of the storage shed, a bottomless pit appeared. The village communal house was struck, its roof collapsing, revealing a deep, dark death pit. The villagers, sensing something strange, asked each other, "What happened? Why are there so many strange occurrences today?" Although they asked, no one dared to step outside their homes. Only the dogs howled mournfully, lamenting the tragedy. At that moment, outside the shrine, Ms. Van, the victim sacrificed, slowly levitated, enveloped in a pale, glowing white aura, the ropes binding her magically dissolving. Her eyes opened, stark white like a dead fish's, as if she were possessed. She slowly moved towards Chillify, her voice no longer Ms. Van's, but a chilling, ancient tone filled with deep resentment. "For how many generations have we been buried alive in this accursed place? The wooden fish drum at the shrine was the instrument of our suppression, used by those in power, those skilled and cunning, who employed every cruel trick to oppress and exploit the downtrodden like us. We died in agony, yearning for a day of revenge, a day of reckoning." As the voice finished, the face of the possessed girl pressed close to Chillify. His eyes were still wide and bloodshot from the explosion of the incense burner. But at this moment, he felt the danger and panicked, screaming, "No, I just followed the rules. I am the village chief. Why did you accuse us? The village rules, didn't you yourselves create them? You found every way to suck the blood and flesh from the villagers, leaving nothing but bones. Ridiculous. You reap what you sow. Who are you?" "My uncle is the district chief. My uncle will investigate you. You won't escape. My uncle will throw you into prison and make you pay." Perhaps at this moment, Chillify still clung to the power of his high-ranking uncle. He believed that mentioning the district chief would intimidate this entity. But Ms. Van, or rather the woman who had possessed her, laughed scornfully, her voice clear and sharp. "Your uncle, the district chief, he won't escape either. Tonight, he too will receive his just desserts." Hearing this, Chillify was terrified, whimpering as he tried to scramble away, covering his face with his hands. But he fell backward into the deep, black pit. From the mouth of the pit, hundreds of thousands of ghostly hands reached out and dragged him down. "No, no, I don't want to die, I don't want to die." His desperate cries were completely drowned out by the thunderous lightning. In an instant, his entire body was devoured by the pit, leaving only his gold-wrapped staff, now broken, lying on the edge of the abyss. The symbol of his power had become a testament to his pain and humiliation. On the other side, Scarface Tom lay motionless, unconscious. Blood gushed from his mouth and nose, his eyes rolled back. He had been struck by the exploding 5 ghost statues, a fragment embedded in his eye, another deep in his temple. Blood flowed like a spring, and he lay convulsing, his life uncertain. The remaining henchmen either collapsed, writhing, or fled in terror, losing their shoes, gasping like soulless beings. At this moment, Master Vu and his apprentice gently descended from the banyan tree. Master Vu's face was weary, and his usually deep-set eyes were now heavy and dark. He approached Ms. Van, used a brush to draw a small talisman on her face, muttered an incantation, and then tapped her forehead with his hand. The girl slumped, unconscious. Only then did Master Vu look at the entire scene. Many dark shadows rose from the pit and hovered around the master and his apprentice. The apprentice was terrified, trembling and clinging to his master's robe, but Master Vu calmly reassured him. "Don't worry, they mean us no harm." True to his words, the shadows soared high, creating a magnificent yet profoundly sorrowful spectacle. This Đông Phong village was where they were born, but they were never truly allowed to die properly because the Din family, for generations, had cruelly suppressed and tormented them with all sorts of brutal tactics. Their souls had been imprisoned, but now they were liberated, filled with exuberant relief. After a moment, all the shadows gathered in a circle before Master Vu and his apprentice, clasped their hands, then gradually vanished. This time, their wronged souls were truly free. The wind gradually subsided. The banyan tree now stood silently, no longer swaying. And strangely, that night, the 30th day of the lunar month, there was no moon at all. But now, the entire sky suddenly lit up with a terrifyingly bright moonlight, an extremely rare phenomenon. From the black pits around the village, faint white lights emanated. The ancient wronged souls were purified, each shadow gently dissipating into the air as if they had never existed. The next morning, after a terrifying night, the villagers rushed to the shrine upon hearing the dreadful news. They couldn't comprehend what had happened when they saw Scarface Tom strangely dead in the shrine courtyard. The frantic calls for Chief Lai went unanswered. Everyone discovered that the shrine had been swallowed by a black hole, leaving only a collapsed pit. The surrounding earth cracked as if a massive explosion had occurred. Fragments of the walls and Chief Lai's gold-wrapped staff were found, suggesting he too had been swallowed. But none of the villagers wanted to help. They said that the man who had lorded over this village was officially gone, and the villagers, who had suffered under his tyranny, and the Din family as a whole, were finally free. A few li away, across the river, District Chief Tam, Chief Lai's patron, lay sprawling on his bed, froth at his mouth, his hands rigidly clenched as if someone had twisted them behind his back. Just a few days ago, he had been idly counting his prayer beads and sipping wine, smiling at the news that his nephew was about to perform a ritual to gain a precious son. The district chief had even planned to visit his nephew, the sole heir of his family, in a few days. He had always praised Chief Lai. "My nephew is very capable. He knows how to control the people and maintain power. As long as he has a son, our family will be at peace. He's even more formidable and agile than I am. That boy in Đông Phong village will surely have a bright future." But now, as he had just dozed off, the district chief dreamed he was tied to the communal house's wooden stake, surrounded by the horrific screams of hundreds of shadowy figures. In his dream, he saw himself, his grandfather, and his father, all members of his family, tied up there. Chief Lai was groveling, begging for his life. Beside him, Master Kha was being burned alive, his mouth agape, his tongue severed. The scene was utterly terrifying. District Chief Tam woke up with a start, drenched in sweat. The next morning, his family discovered that District Chief Tam had lost his voice and was paralyzed, unable to speak or move. His eyes were blank, his legs lifeless like a corpse. People said it was retribution for evil deeds, while good deeds bring good fortune. As for Master Vu and his apprentice, no one knew where they went, or who they were, or where they came from. But many believed he was a highly skilled, anonymous geomancer. Some even said he was the reincarnation of a bodhisattva, saving people from suffering. Ms. Van, the girl, was found in the reed forest near the riverbank. Strangely, she was completely unharmed. Although her mind was a little traumatized, she remembered nothing, only the sound of a cat howling, the wooden fish drum beating, and the shadow of a master with a compass, accompanied by an apprentice. After this incident, the villagers of Đông Phong rebuilt the shrine, turning it into a communal temple for all the unjustly deceased souls. Every year, on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, they held a communal memorial called the Ritual of Atonement, to pray for the wandering spirits who had no refuge. And Ms. Huang gave birth to a healthy baby boy. However, the child could not speak. As for Madame Thao and Madame Tom, after their malicious plot against Ms. Huang, they both met with misfortune. One died of a sudden stroke, the other fell into a well. The Din family eventually disintegrated, their lands redistributed among the villagers. No one dared to claim Chief Lai's descendants anymore. Only a folk song lingered in the village, a reminder. The village drum beats for crime, beats for wrongs asterisk. Bringing retribution where evil belongs. Power abused, officials corrupt and sly asterisk. Living in hatred, causing many to die. Though power may seem from the heavens, above asterisk. Who knew one drumbeat could end all their love?